Hey, what's happening, everyone? Pragmatic Addict here. So, usually in these theory videos, I like to do shorts just because it's usually just a quick and easy thing. But there's actually quite a bit to talk about in this, at least more than the 3 minute limit for a short on YouTube. So, I was doing research for The Conjuring Last Rites because I plan to review the film tomorrow after it comes out. And I looked up if this case was really the case that ended it all for the Warrens. So this was a real case, and the Warrens did investigate it, but not only was this not the case that ended it all for the Warrens, but they didn't have a case that ended it all. And that made me think, with this being so far from what really happened with the Warrens' careers, they must have a lot of freedom to do what they want with these characters. And with how much people love these characters, and people clearly loving to make these Conjuring movies, why would they do a finale for these characters? Why not just keep making more Conjuring movies based on more cases, as we clearly have enough things to make that happen? And believe me, they plan to make more movies after this one. Well, I have a theory, believe it or not, that makes it so that we can still continue to have the Warrens in future movies, even after this finale, and still get answers to those other artifacts, while still having this film be the finale to the Warrens, but also the finale for the Conjuring franchise that we have known it to be up to this point. So it's actually been announced that this film is not only going to be the finale for Ed and Lorraine Warren in The Conjuring, but also a finale to everything we've seen in the Conjuring Universe, period, so far. It's been announced that everything we've seen so far in the Conjuring Universe is actually only phase 1 of the Conjuring Universe. My theory is that phase 2 is going to be a prequel phase, because in the trailer for this upcoming movie, we actually see a tease at a much younger Ed and Lorraine Warren from their very first case. And I think that this film is introducing this much younger version of Ed and Lorraine Warren from their first case, and maybe in this movie, it's gonna briefly touch on their first case, but maybe phase 2's first movie will actually focus on the Warrens' very first case, and maybe every movie from there is going to go in order of the cases that they tackled. Each phase is going to center around a certain amount of years and have a different casting for the Warrens, slowly leading up to where Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga's version of the Warrens come into the picture. And with that also, we'll still be able to see all the stories for all these artifacts we've wondered. And not only that, but also see how this room for all these artifacts came to be in the first place. But with this upcoming film being the finale to everything that we've seen up to this point for The Conjuring, literally just the Conjuring franchise that we've known it to be up to this point, you want it to really feel like all 8 films or whatever, it's all led to this. You want this to be as emotional as possible. And with this also being the finale to Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga's versions of the Warrens, I think one of them will probably die in this movie. Not both of them, because they got a daughter, and that would just be way too heavy. But definitely one of them, I think. Maybe Patrick Wilson, as that's been teased before. And that also leads me into the final thing. You want this to be as big as possible, which also makes me theorize. I wonder if we're going to see incorporations from every single movie in this film. As already in the trailer alone, we've seen Annabelle, we've also seen the music box from the first movie. I wonder if we're going to see Valak show up in this movie as well. And maybe that's going to be where Patrick Wilson, if he's the one that dies, maybe that's going to be where his death comes in. As, again, back in The Conjuring 2, Lorraine had a vision of his death that involved Valak. Maybe this is going to be the case that finally kills Ed. And maybe it'll be revealed that that movie all those years ago actually foreshadowed this. And lastly, I think that just with Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga just being much older than they were back when this thing first started 12 years ago, and them only going to be getting older, that's also probably why they're doing this finale. But those are my theories for the movie. Those are my theories for the future of the Conjuring series. Let me know what you guys' thoughts were on my theories, as well as what your guys' might be in the comments below.